daughter stole all our neighbor's pets. I'm on her side. When I came home from work and saw my neighbor Mrs. Mitchell putting up signs for her missing pets, I told her I'd come help her look as soon as I changed my clothes. Then I walked inside to find her 4 dogs, 3 cats, and 2 ferrets doing laps in our living room. My daughter looked me right in the eye and said, "I'm not giving them back." "Olivia, what have you done?" I screamed, watching a tabby cat leap from our couch to the mantel while a beagle burrowed under the throw pillows. "I saved them," Olivia said, but I wasn't listening. I immediately went back outside and told Mrs. Mitchell she needed to come to my house right away. She followed me inside and gasped when she saw her pets sprawled across our living room. The moment she entered, all 4 dogs scrambled behind Olivia, and the cats scattered to high furniture. "You stole my animals?" Mrs. Mitchell screamed at Olivia. "I'm calling the police right now. This is theft." "Call them," Olivia said calmly while the beagle trembled against her leg. "Then I'll tell them what you've been doing to these animals." Mrs. Mitchell's face went red as she ranted about having the pets for years, and how my daughter needed professional help. The ferrets had wedged themselves under our entertainment center at the sound of her voice. "Mom, I hear things while I'm babysitting her daughter," Olivia said, stroking the German Shepherd mix that was trying to hide its massive body behind her small frame. "I see what goes on in that house." "Nothing goes on except normal family life," Mrs. Mitchell snapped. Olivia described how the dogs stayed in basement cages all day, never going outside except for 2-minute bathroom breaks. She pointed out the infected wounds on the cats and the painful matting on the ferrets. Now that she mentioned it, I could see one dog's visible limp and the crusty discharge around a gray cat's eyes. Mrs. Mitchell insisted they just had minor health issues she was addressing, claiming vet care was expensive for a single mother. "You spent $3,000 on a purse last month," Olivia said flatly. "I saw the receipt. What I spend my money on is none of your business," Mrs. Mitchell said, stepping forward. The German Shepherd whimpered and pressed harder against Olivia. "Those are my animals, and I demand you return them immediately." "When was the last time you took any of them to a vet?" I asked, noticing how their ribs showed through their fur. Mrs. Mitchell said that wasn't relevant, that they were her property and my daughter was a thief. Every time she moved, the animals shrank away from her. One cat had climbed on top of our bookshelf and wouldn't come down. "Want me to tell you why I actually took them?" Olivia said, and my stomach dropped. She explained that yesterday while babysitting, she'd overheard Mrs. Mitchell on the phone negotiating to sell all the animals. The woman had said she didn't care what happened to them as long as she got paid. "You misunderstood," Mrs. Mitchell said, her face pale now. "I was talking about finding new homes because I'm overwhelmed. You gave them the address of a biomedical research facility," Olivia continued. "That's an animal testing lab. They pay people for animals. You were getting $3,000 for the dogs, $1,500 for the cats, $500 for the ferrets." The smaller dog, some kind of terrier mix, had crawled into Olivia's lap and was shaking. The other animals had formed a circle around my daughter like she was their protector. "They're my animals," Mrs. Mitchell shouted. "I can do whatever I want with them. If I want to donate them to help advance science, that's my right." "Donate?" Olivia stood up, and the animals moved with her. "You negotiated them up to $5,000 total. The lab is picking them up tomorrow while your daughter's at school so she won't see." "Your daughter loves these animals," I said, finally understanding everything. "How could you send them to a lab to be tortured?" "My daughter will get over it," Mrs. Mitchell said coldly. She pulled out her phone and started dialing. "If you don't return my property right now, I'm pressing charges. Your daughter will have a criminal record." The animals were all huddled near Olivia now. Even the cats had come down from their perches to sit near her feet. When Mrs. Mitchell stepped toward them, they all backed away as a group. "They're legally mine with paperwork to prove it," Mrs. Mitchell said. "You're harboring stolen property. The lab is expecting them tomorrow and I'll lose $5,000 if they're not delivered." She smiled coldly at me. "I'll sue you for the lost income plus emotional distress. Return them now or deal with the police and lawyers." I looked at my daughter surrounded by terrified animals that clearly knew she'd saved them. The beagle had its head buried in her armpit. The cats were winding around her legs. The ferrets had emerged just enough to hide behind her sneakers. "Mom?" Olivia asked, holding the shaking terrier. Mrs. Mitchell had the phone to her ear. "Yes, I'd like to report a theft." I had no idea what I was going to do, but I knew I couldn't let Cruella de Vil get her hands on those animals. Full story on the channel below.